I'm Doug.
And I'm Cathy.
And this is Maggie Mae. Join us as we follow the moon. Today we're up at Flagstaff, Arizona, and we are going to take you through three absolutely tremendous parks up here. They're all three interconnected, and we want to show you how the land developed, how the community developed, how the culture developed, and then it vanished. So come along.
Thanks.
Now we're going to start off at Sunset Crater Volcano National Monument. This is one of two that we're going to show you today that are on this same 35-mile loop road that goes off of Route 89 to the north and to the south, both of them north of Interstate 40, right there in Flagstaff.
Now all three of them are monuments, but individually, but the three, you can't visit one and understand it till you've seen all three.
Yeah, definitely. They all three connect their stories. This is the Bonito Lava Flow. This is one of the first things you see when you come into the Sunset Crater Volcano. And this is going up the left side of the park. We started at the south entrance, obviously, to go to this park first. And going up the left side of the road, this is what you see. It's a massive volcano field. There's caves in it. It's absolutely amazing. Just a short way up the road, we come to the Lenox Crater and the Lava Flow Trail. Now this is a very short, paved, easy access loop, and it takes you through this volcanic land.
There's also a path that goes down inside, and you can go and actually walk down in the bottom of it. It's pretty just mind-blowing.
That's actually Lenox Crater right there behind us. And this is what the paths look like going through this lava flow trail.
Now this was 1,000 years old, 800 to 1,000 years ago that it erupted.
That's probably right. I don't know on the Sunset Crater Volcano. I believe it was around 1080s what you had come up with. Now from there we're going to continue around the loop road, and we come to the Cinder Hills Overlook. And these Cinder Hills in the distance are all hills of the lava ash that are left from the explosion. You'll see the mountains have more peaks, and the Cinder Hills are definitely a lot more rounded.
They're also pretty barren.
So there's been a few seeds that have fallen and taken root there, but not nearly as many. Now out in the distance, right on the horizon, you start to see the pinks emerge, and it's the Painted Desert Overlook. This is the first time going through the park where you can see the Painted Desert off in the distance. And we'll give you some more shots as we get a little bit closer too. But out on the horizon, the pinks and the purples and everything are just amazing. Now, just past that overlook, you come to the Kana-a Lava Flow. Some of these native names sound almost Hawaiian.
Yes, there is some a lot of Hawaiian influence.
It's a very diverse culture amongst the natives. I think there was 12 or 14 tribes represented through this area. The next one we're at is the Wupatki National Monument. And this is on this same loop road, It's probably total maybe 10 to 12 miles from the Kana-a Lava Flow up to this area. We're going to make a right when we first come into the park, and the first pueblo we're coming to is the Wukoki Pueblo, probably one of the most famous pueblos that you see the ruins for throughout the area.
Now these people actually were migrating from the lava flow that they had moved out towards the desert and then also more towards the west.
They said they got there, that the volcano was still smoldering and the ash was all over the ground, and the ash was what really made them stop there because it would hold moisture and allow them to grow crops. And that lasted up until the middle 1200s. They all left the area at that point. They don't know if it was a change in climate or hostile neighbors, what it may have been that made them leave this area. But this was all used and abandoned up till around 1250.
The structures are just amazing, and they're what they could see from their vantage point was amazing. And look at that sky.
Now this is Deadman Wash. This is actually between the Wukoki Pueblo that we just showed you, and as we go back into the main part of the park towards the visitor center, which, here's the visitor center. And the visitor center is important in this park because from that visitor center is where we go to the Wupatki Pueblo. This one, as massive as that first one is, setting up on the rock, this thing is at least double the size.
Yeah. It was like a little city.
And this one is very interesting because of the different structures. Now you see the stairs. The stairs are not original to the structure, so it was a little easier for us getting around it than what they had it. But there's an area here of kind of the main pueblo, and then a short distance down the walk are remains of some other structures. We'll see them coming up here. And it was built in between. This is an area that was used for gatherings. It was like a bench all the way around the outside of it. This was one of the most fascinating things here I'd ever seen. They talk about the earth breathing, and you can put your hand over that blowhole and feel the air, cool air coming up out of it. They say when it's cool outside, it'll actually suck the air back into it. When it's warm outside, you'll feel the cool air rise up out of it.
One of the things that struck me was the squared off bricks that were used in building this.
Yeah, we'll show you some more building here a little bit later at the third national monument. Those were all with rounded stones. These were all flattened like bricks. It was really amazing. And considering these ruins and the canyon we're going to show you coming up are located probably 15 minutes apart. It's amazing how different they all are.
And that's with the trifecta of the volcano.
Now we're taking a short drive on around the loop, and we'll be coming here to the Donny Mountain Overlook. And again, this gives you great shots of the Painted Desert out there. From that overlook, we're going to go on through the park a little bit, and you'll be getting to probably the last few miles of the park, and we come to 4 different pueblos. This one site has 2 of them. The first one we come to on the trail there is the Nalakihu Pueblo. It's a very small one, but the one up there on the hill is the Citadel Pueblo. And very short walks, very easy to navigate. It has this huge crater beside it, and we don't know the story on it. I don't know if they mined some of the stones that they used to build these pueblos from there, or if it was a natural sinkhole, but you can see the rock in it. This is actually standing up on top. The next one's up the road are the Box Canyon dwellings. And this Box Canyon is really, really amazing.
This is actually where they farmed, was down in the canyon. And then the homestead atop where they could keep an eye down there.
So there was a trickle of water that ran down through there they used for irrigation. And there are 2 of these dwellings left, one on each side of the Box Canyon. It's a very easy trail going across from one to the other. You don't actually have to go down into the canyon to make it across.
They do suggest you stay on the trails because there are snakes there.
Definitely. There you can look across the canyon, see the first ruins there that we saw. And out in the distance from there is the Lomaki Pueblo. And this is the last of the pueblos that are on their map. They're all amazing in their own right. And from that area, we could stand in the distance and see probably another 3 or 4 of them that aren't shown on the map. So as to what their names are, the conditions, they don't have active trails going to them. But they said at one point there were, in a 1 square mile area, 100 dwellings.
So it was a community.
Yeah, very much a community. Now, we're going to take a short drive, probably about 20 minutes, to Walnut Canyon. This is also a national monument. It's located 3 miles south of Interstate 40, and only about 3 miles down the interstate from the exit for the first 2 we've been to. There are 2 trails. We're first going to show you the Rim Trail, which is a pet-friendly trail. So Cathy and I split up to do this one, and Maggie got to see the Rim Trail twice.
That's right.
But this lets you see the canyon, and the canyon is amazing, just even from the Rim Trail.
It's way bigger when you're there in person than it looks.
And the second trail, where you actually kind of get down inside that canyon.
Yeah.
Now, on that Rim Canyon Trail, there are also Pueblo ruins, and you'll see how different they're on top of the surface Pueblos looked. The difference in the rocks, they're not rectangular like a brick. Some were buried down into the ground. Some of them were just on top of the surface.
And it looks like they used mud or something like that to to hold them together.
Now, the next trail, 736 steps up and down. That's not a mistake. There are that many. This is called the Island Trail. This one is not pet friendly, and it's because of all the steps, I'm sure. Part of the path is one way, but the main steps going up and going down are two-way traffic. And with people walking dogs, I'm sure it just would be too confusing. Plus, it's a lot on those dogs in the heat too.
Well, and it's dropped off, as you can see. It drops off really very quickly.
Once you've made it down, you come to this area that's the island, and it kind of sits out in the middle of the canyon. And as you start to go around it, this rock is like eye level. So we take the steps down, and you'll start to see the cliff dwellings. And they say there was at one point somewhere between 300 and 400 cliff dwellings in this canyon. And as you look out around the canyon, once you've been down in here, you start to see, oh, those are little stones piled up. They're all the way around the canyon. It's a massive structure. It is like the first urban condo dwellings.
That's right.
But yeah, over there on the canyon across from us, you can see where those where they're made into the same type of a structure all the way around there.
Yeah.
And they didn't have these nice trails that we have now.
I will say, I didn't think the stairs were quite as bad as I was concerned they were going to be.
Mm-hmm. There are a few steps up and down going around the island itself. Most of the steps are on the way down, and then unfortunately going back up on the way up.
Yeah. It's worth it though. Look at that.
They do have them broken up pretty well. There were 2 sections of 25 stairs, and the rest of them were probably 5 to 8 steps at a time, and then a landing.
Yeah.
So that really does help the way they've got it done. Going around the island, there's one place that there's 31 steps in a row, but it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. It was definitely well worth it. This is one of the last places as you come around the island, and you'll start to see this. Just reminds me of a high-rise apartment, just so much as you go around this.
And look at their view.
Yeah. As you go around it, you'll see windows, you'll see doors, and it just goes and goes. It is absolutely an amazing structure, and to think that it was made 1,000 years ago is even more mind-boggling.
Yeah.
They took what nature had given them there. They had a good solid roof over their head, and they made their walls to make their individual dwellings.
Yep.
Some of them, like this one, you can see the black on it where they've had fires and
they cooked in there.
Mm-hmm. But it is one of those places that it would be very hard for me to tell you, if you only have time to go to one or to go to two, which ones to go to, because they're all 3 so interconnected. You can see the different ways that people around the same time lived.
And they all traded with each other.
Mm-hmm. So Cathy, what did you think about our day exploring these amazing parks near Flagstaff, Arizona?
Wow. Just wow. Oh my goodness.
And it's not just that there was something incredible, but there's so much of it too.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so expansive.
You really do think of this as being something you'll find a little trickle here and there. It was just amazing. It was just amazing.
We hope you've enjoyed our time here around Flagstaff as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. If you have, leave us a thumbs up. We certainly appreciate it. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please subscribe, ring the notification bell. That way you'll know when every one of our videos come out.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.
Thanks for watching today.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel.
And be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when new videos come out.
Don't forget to follow us on social media too.